Let's head over to Warner Park, where led by 89 from opener Brandon King, the Jamaica Tallowers posted 183 for 2 from their 20 overs after being sent to bat by defending champions, the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, in the opening match of the 2022 Caribbean Premier League. King and Kennard Lewis, who weighed in with 48, added 116 for the first wicket. Skipper Robman Powell was left unbeaten on 30. Jaden Carmichael took 1 for 22 and veteran Dwayne Bravo 1 for 46 for the Patriots. The Patriots, who have been set 184 to win, well, they were 9 for 1, or 9 for 1 that is, after 2.1 overs at sports time in their chase. They've lost the wicket of Evan Lewis. Now, the cost of cricket gear has been identified as another issue hampering the growth of the sport locally by one prominent stakeholder. But as we'll hear in this report, the government has a role to play in the high cost associated with the sport.
The lure of T20 leagues around the world, the plethora of distractions which now exist for young people, a change in the way children are socialized, have all been identified as factors leading to a decline in local cricket. But the cost of cricket gear can also be a prohibitive factor in getting interested young Jamaicans involved in the game. Melbourne Cricket Club president Mark Neita, who himself is a former national player, knows that all too well. He recounted a recent experience
where we imported a cricket boot for Shane Thomas. Now Shane, as a fast bowler, has a really big foot, right? And a size 14, which you can't get here locally. We paid £130 for it, had to ship it from England, and when it got here, we had to pay $35,000 to clear that boot. Now, I have a big problem with that, because how are people to afford to play cricket if one cricket boot is going to cost you $100,000? Because by the time you do the conversion of the pounds and the shipping costs, the one cricket boot for one bowler, one player, costs $100,000.
Neita has made this suggestion.
Cricket is not like a sport like football, where one ball can satisfy several people, or track, where a lot of our kids can run in a rubber soul. Cricket need gear, and so what I'm advocating is simply this: cricket clubs, the JCA, and schools should be allowed to import cricket gears and sporting gears in general, tax-free.
That, he says, has contributed to what can be described as a cricketing brain drain.
And so because of that, a lot of our young cricketers are going to the United States, which is the closest market. Now, US has started various professional leagues. They just started the Minor Cup, which is a prelude to their major league. Now, the major league is going to mean that a substantial amount of money is going to be put in cricket. So what is going to happen? Youngsters here in Jamaica, rather than staying and playing locally, they're going to jump on a plane and ply their trade abroad, and you can't blame them, because we are in an environment where professionalism is the name of the game.
And Neita says the results bear out his concern.
And this is why the under-15 team ran second to last in the regional concluded tournament. This is why the under-17 team is at the bottom of the table regionally. The under-19 is at the bottom of the table regionally. And our national team is also at the bottom of the table. Somebody needs to start to take stock and say, oh, it's not okay for us to come last.
Jordan Fort, TVJ Sports.
By the way, Neita was speaking at the launch of a cricket festival which will be held to honor former Cricket West Indies President Dave Cameron this coming weekend.